she'd bring us downtown with her to work on the train, and just like, wow, I feel like Stevie Wonder, skyscrapers and everything, all of that, right? But it's something about the city, it just draws you in. That's what weaves it together. I mean, it feels like it's home. There's no other place like it on the planet.
The Tooth Fairy getting socked with some soaring prices.
We had something really clever to say here, but this...
Hi there, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon here live in the CBS 2 Weather Center with a lunchtime update. Here's the game plan for the remainder of the afternoon into the early evening. We're going to be with you with frequent updates as we have a busy afternoon on tap with multiple waves of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Just reading also some new information that the activity that we see this afternoon is a little bit higher scale when it comes to severe weather. So lots to get to. And as you look at the Doppler radar, it's busy out there. Here's the good news. We'll take this full. There are no active warnings right now. That could change, though, shortly. But you see this wall of rain headed in from the west, moving through DeKalb County and also in parts of LaSalle County. So let's do a radar tour. And again, none of this is severe, but it is strong moving into northwestern sections of LaSalle County. This particular thunderstorm that's been moving through Mendota and headed into the Paw Paw area, and eventually we'll make it into DeKalb. Embedded in the activity, we could have some wind gusts up to around 40 miles per hour. Other than that, it's just thunder, lightning, and downpours. And heavy rainfall is a big threat today, and that's why we could see some flash flooding concerns, especially as this line of thunderstorms gets a little bit closer to the city over the next hour and a half to 2 hours. Let's zoom in here. This is going to be not too far from Plano and Oswego. This is a thunderstorm lifting up towards the north, getting a little bit closer to Sugar Grove and Aurora over the next 20 minutes. Embedded in this activity, there could be some very small hail, but again, this is below severe weather limits. Torrential downpour moving over I-88 here in about 20 minutes as that lifts up towards the north. Zooming into the city, we'll put this in live mode. There's a little bit of light rain. There's some moderate pockets of rain on the south side of Chicago, but no big deal. And you see those moderate areas of rainfall extending into portions of Lake County. Until you get to around Lowell, that's where the thunderstorm activity is just a little bit more on the hefty side. So let's zoom out and I'll share where we are temperature-wise. It's a cool day. We've got upper 60s and low 70s, and this is that first band of rainfall that could trigger some street flooding as it arrives into Chicago. Again, the next hour to hour and a half starts to get a little bit closer to us. And let me zoom out because I'll show you, it's this first little wall of rainfall, but what we're concerned about for later on this afternoon to this evening, 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, and it could be that activity mid-afternoon into the early evening that could be widespread severe. So multiple threats today, severe weather threat. We'll talk much more about that in a second. And there's also this, as this line of showers and storms moves on in, because we've had a lot of rainfall here in the metro over the last 10 days, some street flooding could occur. So a flood watch in effect for all of Cook County, including all of the city of Chicago, DuPage, Will, and Lake County, Indiana, included in this flood watch until 7 p.m. Let me show you the latest guidance. This is a model that the Weather Service says is concerning them a little bit, and it's concerning us. So let's walk through this hour by hour. Here's the next hour, 1 o'clock. Got showers, thunderstorms moving into the western suburbs, sub-severe. Gusty winds, maybe even some small hail. So we're watching that at 1 o'clock out in the western suburbs. And then as we head towards 1:30 into around 2 o'clock, notice how that lifts into the city, impacting the North Shore as well. And I think this model is favoring Chicago northward. This could extend all the way down south to Kankakee as well and get a little bit closer to northwest Indiana by 2 o'clock. Again, some of this could be on the strong side. Heavy downpours could also trigger some street flooding. Then we have a window where the atmosphere kind of recovers a bit, and this is the part where we're a little bit more concerned on what could happen this afternoon. There's some uncertainty here. Not all models are locked into it, but I think it's worth giving you the heads up that this is a solution that certainly could happen. This is showing at 4 p.m. some intense thunderstorms developing up towards the northwest of the city, so impacting DeKalb and McHenry and Lake County. These thunderstorms not only producing torrential downpours, gusty winds, potentially wind gusts 60, 70 miles per hour, but they also could be rotating. So that tornado threat is up just a bit now than what we were even talking about yesterday. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the radar late this afternoon and here's 6 o'clock, even into the early evening, for rotating thunderstorms that could produce some tornadoes. Embedded in all this as well, there could be some wind gusts, 60, 65, 70, if not maybe even 75 mile per hour wind gusts. But I think wind and hail, the primary threat, the secondary threat is going to be tornadoes. And on top of all of that, with all this heavy rainfall, there is going to be a chance for some flash flooding. This activity is going to slide off towards the east as we head towards mid-evening. We really start to see things wind down by 8 o'clock across the region. There still could be some strong storms in parts of northwest Indiana, but you get the idea. As we get closer to sunset, a lot of this activity is just going to shut down. Here's a check of our hourly forecast. So we're going to up the rain chance as we head into the next hour. Here in Chicago, with that line of showers and thunderstorms moving on in, that's round one. Round one, the main threat is going to be gusty winds and even some street flooding. And there's later in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, 70% in the. So 7-day forecast. We're going to keep an eye on some thunderstorm chances even as we head into Friday. I think even Friday, if those thunderstorms do materialize, we'll do a fresh forecast here in the next half hour for you and show that to you later this hour. If those thunderstorms materialize even on Friday, those could even be on the heavy side. So we're going to keep an eye on that. So hang with me for 1 second. I'm going to start from the top again because we have some new people joining us. My mic may cut off 1 second. But so here's the situation, and again, here's the game plan. If you're just now jumping on the stream, we're going to be with you every half hour, so we'll do another radar update at 12:30, and then once this line of storms gets a little bit closer to Chicago, or if there's any warnings that are issued, we'll go continuous. So there are 2 rounds that we're watching. There's the first round. It's a lot of rain. It's a lot of thunder. Could be some gusty winds, could see some thunderstorms produce some small hail and gusty winds, and also produce some street flooding here within the next 90 minutes here in Chicago. Once that passes, the atmosphere kind of recovers a bit. It's a small window, and then 3 o'clock to 7 p.m., that is round 2. And that's a little bit more concerning round because all modes of severe weather will be possible mid-afternoon into the early evening. Again, damaging winds, hail, rotating thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes, and heavy rainfall that could also produce some heavy downpours. So let's take the radar full again. And just for those that are jumping on the stream, just a recap for you, we have no active watches or warnings right now in terms of severe weather. We do have a flood watch in effect for the metro. And actually, let me read this. It's just coming in from the Weather Service. They continue to watch this thunderstorm that is impacting LaSalle County for the potential for 40-mile-per-hour winds. So you see that strong thunderstorm moving out of Mendota, another round coming in Mendota and even the Peru area here in the next couple of minutes. Could have some wind gusts there up to 40 miles per hour. And just out of curiosity, while we're here, let's zoom in. Let's flip on our velocity scan. Let's see if we got any rotation. We don't. Yeah, some gusty winds though. You see the kind of the brighter reds, southern DeKalb into northern sections of LaSalle County. So yeah, that thunderstorm is producing those winds 40, maybe even 45 miles per hour. There's a look at the live scan of the Doppler radar. We'll put lightning bolts back on there. A lot of cloudy ground lightning and all that is headed this way. We can do a storm track here, and we'll put this into live mode. And these thunderstorms, kind of put where the bulk of them are, kind of like that. They're moving at around 40 miles per hour. So there we go. That's all kind of. So that's where they'll be at the top of the hour. So, you know, some of those thunderstorms are going to be inching their way into west central areas of Cook County, like the Orland Park area, of course, all of DuPage County within the hour. Moving into Ottawa soon. Plainfield at 12:34, DuPage at 12:41, Naperville at 12:41, Downers Grove 12:50, and just before the top of the hour, moving into Orland Park. So let's show you that flood watch. Again, that's in effect until 7 o'clock. Street flooding, big concern. You know, we saw that a little bit yesterday on the south side. Of course, we saw that in a big way 2 weekends ago. And the latest radar data, again, the big line of storms moves in this afternoon. Atmosphere recovers just a bit, and then between 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock, the chance of severe thunderstorms, some of which could be rotating, producing tornadoes, some of which could be producing wind gusts over 65 miles per hour, and then things finally calm down as we head towards the mid-evening by 8 o'clock. So another live radar update coming up in about 20 minutes at the bottom of the hour at 12:30. I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon. We'll keep you updated throughout the day.
Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago. committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago.
Flooding here in Chicago as they continue to move from west to east at around 40 miles per hour. Embedded in these thunderstorms, the potential for some wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. But this is just round one of multiple rounds that we're expecting today. This one comes in with heavy downpours, get a little bit of a break, and then the atmosphere recharges and allows for the chance of severe weather mid-afternoon into the early evening. So lots to get to. Let's take the radar full, and we'll show you what we're looking at right now. There are no active severe weather warnings right now. That is good news. But these are some really heavy downpours, and there's potential for some flood advisories to be issued, maybe even some flash flood warnings to be issued here over the next couple of hours. We'll put this into live mode. You can see the rain just now increasing around Aurora and DuPage with that live scan, with downpours in Yorkville and also out towards the west in DeKalb and also areas of LaSalle County. Here in the city, it's some sprinkles and some light rain, and then you get a little bit closer to O'Hare and the Dunning neighborhood and Des Plaines, a little bit of moderate areas of rainfall and extending back off towards the west and near Bloomingdale and DuPage County. But again, none of this activity is severe. It is just heavy rain and there's cloudy ground lightning. Our friends in southern sections of Cook County around Chicago Heights got some downpours near you. We'll put this into motion. You'll see how those are tracking off towards the east-northeast, extending into parts of northwest Indiana. So, well, widen out the view here. And what we're looking at is, again, this is the first round of multiple that we're expecting today. With this first round of thunderstorms, that's going to move into the city between about 1:30 and about 2 o'clock. That's when we think, at least the heaviest activity. So the next hour or so, it's going to come in with a potential for some street flooding. Now, embedded in this activity, we could at times have some wind gusts that get close to severe weather limits. I'm going to show you the velocity scan. This shows us where the winds are most intense. And at this point, we're not looking at anything strong embedded in these thunderstorms. I'm not seeing any rotation. That's certainly good news. So at the moment, it's just rain. It's a lot of rain on the Doppler radar, but that could change, and we'll show you the future model in just a second. So again, there's no active warnings right now. There is a flood watch, though, in effect now until 7 o'clock this evening, and it includes all of City of Chicago, all of Cook County, DuPage, Will, and Lake County, Indiana, for the potential for street flooding that could occur with this first round coming in within the hour. So some street flooding, ponding on the roadway, that's a real threat. I want to show you, though, the hour-by-hour forecast, and this is going to get updated within the next 45 minutes. But this shows that first wave of showers and thunderstorms moving on in. There's 2 o'clock, some heavy rainfall, Chicago, North Shore, extending down towards the Kankakee River Valley. And then there'll be a window, an hour and a half to 2 hours, where our atmosphere is able to recharge in both heating and also instability. And the models have been very consistent, wanting to bring in a secondary round into the region coming in out of the northwest. So that's 4 p.m. with a chance of severe weather in DeKalb and also McHenry and Lake County here in Illinois. And the atmosphere is a little different by the time we head towards 4 o'clock. The atmosphere a little bit more conducive to rotating thunderstorms. So entering the picture, thunderstorms that are rotating that could spawn tornadoes, damaging wind, and also large hail. And on top of all of that, flash flooding. Also, that's a look at 6 o'clock with the potential for some severe weather across the area, rotating thunderstorms, large hail, damaging winds, heavy downpours. And then by the time we head towards mid-evening, let's go to around 8 o'clock, a lot of this begins to shift out of our area. There still could be some intense downpours in parts of northwest Indiana, but you get the idea. Things will really start to wind down as we head towards the middle part of the evening. So our main concern now through about mid-evening comes with wind damage, straight line damaging winds, wind 60, 65, maybe even as high as 70 miles per hour, and also flash flooding, especially here in the city, just because we are a concrete jungle. And if we get one of these intense rain pockets to sit on top of us for a short time, that's putting down an inch and a half of rain per hour, street flooding could be a real issue as we get closer to rush hour. Also increasing just a bit with the second round coming in between 3 o'clock and 7 p.m. is rotating storms that could produce tornadoes. So the tornado threat, it's not huge, but it's there. It's something that we got to pay very close attention to. And also thunderstorms producing some large hail. So we'll watch that as well. So here's a look at the next 12 hours. We'll up the rain chance in the next hour here in the city up to 90% with that line of showers and thunderstorms coming in out of the west. And then that chance of strong to severe weather as we head into rush hour. That next window, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., 70% chance of strong thunderstorms at 5 o'clock. And then notice those rain chances come way down by 9 o'clock. New 7-day forecast for you. Just updated this with an isolated chance of thunderstorms for tomorrow. will put in a chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms both Friday and Saturday, with high temperatures mid to upper 80s both Friday and Saturday. A couple of those could be on the heavy side, so we'll keep a close eye on that. And then some lingering isolated thunderstorm chances Sunday and Monday of next week. And looking even farther ahead from this, just a preview, we're 85 as we head towards a week from today, and some of the models want to get us into the 90s, if not a bit hotter next weekend. So the models are trending really, really hot in that 10-day forecast. So we'll leave you with this, with that radar, with those thunderstorms pulling in from the west right now. No active warnings. The first round moving in right now. Heavy downpours that could trigger some flash flooding. Also some intense winds, 55, 60 miles per hour. And then that secondary round that comes in, the window for the entire area, 3 p.m. to about 7 p.m., that comes in with all modes of severe weather. Rotating storms that could produce tornadoes, also thunderstorms that could produce large hail and damaging winds, and also flash flooding. Beyond 8 p.m., though, things are going to be a lot more quiet around here, so we still have several hours to go, and we'll be here with you throughout the afternoon and evening as these warnings pop up. So our game plan here on CBS News Chicago, live radar updates every half hour, so we'll see you again at the top of the hour at 1 o'clock. If warnings are issued, though, we'll go continuous, and if it's crazy at your home, come back to CBS News Chicago, and we'll be here for you. Also on our YouTube page, if you go to YouTube and type in CBS Chicago, we have streaming radar. We have another weather computer that's just going through all of our graphics, different radar views. So that would be nice and handy to have in your pocket as well in between these half-hour updates. Until then, I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon. We'll keep you updated here on CBS News Chicago.
Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
It's 1 o'clock here on CBS News Chicago. I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon with another live radar update. The good news is, as of right now, we have no active warnings with this first line of showers and thunderstorms moving on in. It's just good, heavy rainfall, but that could provoke some street flooding within the next half hour here in Chicago. This is the first of multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms that we'll have to deal with today. This one, at the moment, looks to be the most tame one as we head into the mid and late afternoon and early evening. That second round that we're expecting could be a lot more aggressive. So let's take the radar full and we'll do some storm tracking here for you. Again, there are no active warnings right now across our area. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, and you can see the downpours. They've been filling in just in the last 10 minutes on the south side of Chicago and moving off towards the east-northeast. Right now it's light rain downtown, the South Loop, but as you move down towards the south and southwest around Midway and Cicero to Burbank and Beverly and just south of Inglewood to near Pullman, you can see some of those downpours. But none of this is severe, and we'll actually flip on our velocity scan. This shows us where some of the intense winds can be, and we're not seeing anything strong other than maybe a 35, 40 mile per hour wind gust, and no rotation out of this activity either. So that's certainly some good news. Now, the rain is a lot more persistent out here towards the west. You can see downpours, Downers Grove to Joliet to near Bolingbrook, and then out here towards the west as we get a little bit closer to Yorkville, down to Saratoga, and down into the Morris area, we have downpours. We'll turn on the lightning and see there's quite a bit of lightning strikes, but none of this activity is strong or severe. It's just healthy downpours, and with saturated soil and, of course, our concrete jungle here in the city, some of this could trigger some minor street flooding. And then the back side of this, you can see the rain coming to an end around Peru and just out here towards the west of DeKalb. So once this moves out next hour and a half, we'll get at least a couple of hours break. We may even see a couple of breaks in the cloud cover. And that's actually not good news because that will re-energize our atmosphere to allow for additional thunderstorms that could be severe later on this afternoon and evening. We'll talk much more about that in just a second. So this first round of rain coming in with some gusty winds, coming in with the potential for street flooding, and that flood threat does continue until 7 p.m. this evening with a flood watch in effect for all of Cook County. That includes all of the city of Chicago, DuPage, Will, and Lake County, Indiana, also included in that flood watch, again, until 7 p.m. Here's a look at our brand new forecast model. This is showing that heavy band of rainfall focused right over the city as we head within the next 30 minutes into around 2 o'clock. And notice how that will clear out as we head towards 3 o'clock. And then additional thunderstorms develop by 4 p.m., starting up here towards the northwest, coming in out of Wisconsin. And this is going to be the window, say 3 o'clock to 7 p.m. for the entire area, that we could see some thunderstorms that produce not just damaging winds, not just hail, not just flash flooding, but these thunderstorms could be rotating, and that could lead to some isolated tornadoes. So there is a tornado threat later this afternoon into this evening, and you'll see the model data showing those intense thunderstorms working across Chicago. 4:30, 5:30, there's 6 o'clock with still some severe weather possible in the western suburbs, in the city, and moving into northwest Indiana. Again, all modes of severe weather will be possible with those thunderstorms. The models, though, have been very consistent, saying as we get closer to sunset, as we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour, sunset's 8:25 tonight, things start to wind down. So by mid-evening, that severe weather threat begins to shift to the east and the south of us. There could still be some lingering intense downpours in Jasper, Newton, and LaPorte County, but you get the idea. Things really start to improve by mid-evening, and then overnight we're in good shape with just a chance for an isolated shower. Otherwise, we'll just be cloudy in most spots here for tonight. So the round of rainfall moving in now, heavy downpours, gusty winds, the secondary threat coming on in 3 o'clock to 7 p.m. That's the wide window. It comes in with the potential for damaging winds, flash flooding, and also some thunderstorms produce some large hail, and rotating thunderstorms could produce tornadoes. So that tornado threat, not huge, but it's up just a bit from what we were even talking about yesterday, and that's something that we're going to be paying a very close attention to. So look at the forecast as we head into the next hour. That rain chance in Chicago at 100%. So you can count on that rain increase again next half hour, and as we head towards the top of the hour, rain chances, though, they start to come down in a big way as we head towards this evening, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that window. There's still some uncertainty about it, but they've got to keep an eye on that window late afternoon into the early evening for severe weather. Here's a look at our new 7-day forecast. Not as widespread, not as heavy, but we're going to keep a storm chance in the forecast tomorrow through Monday. Isolated storms tomorrow at 80. With temperatures in the mid-80s, anything that does develop on Friday and Saturday, although not widespread, could be on the heavy side with that 40% coverage. We'll even keep a chance for some isolated thunderstorms in the forecast Sunday and into Monday of next week. So we are staffed up here in the Weather Center for the remainder of the afternoon with, again, multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms moving in from the west. This first one, no signs of severe weather right now. Gusty winds, downpours, thunder and lightning, and you see that rain increasing here in Chicago right now. Let's just take one more closer look into Chicago. I'll zoom in here and I'll show you that the heaviest rain at the moment is focused to the south of the Ike and kind of inching closer to downtown. You see some areas of downpours and thunder and lightning moving into the Pilsen area and Little Village and back of the yards right now. We'll put that into live mode. But again, at this point, none of this is severe, and we'll flip on Doppler winds. None of this really producing all that strong of wind gusts. It's just downpours that could create some minor street flooding. And then once this area of rainfall shifts off towards the east of us, our atmosphere will have at least an hour and a half to 2 hours to literally recharge. Get some heating from the sun, our atmosphere becomes more buoyant or more unstable, and that will allow for a secondary round of thunderstorms coming in out of the northwest, and some of those could rotate. And that's why we're going to be watching the radar very closely between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. for the threat of tornadoes, large hail damage winds, and of course additional flash flooding. So our game plan here on CBS News Chicago for the remainder of the afternoon is to check in with you, a live radar update every half hour. So we're back at the bottom of the hour at 1:30. If any warnings were to be issued between now and then, or we start to see some torrential downpours that set up anywhere, we'll of course jump back on in, but every half hour we'll be here on CBS News Chicago. I do want to mention this. The Weather Service just typing this out to us, and we'll zoom out because they were talking about areas out here towards the west just a bit. They're talking about higher rainfall rates of 1 inch per hour between the I-88 and I-80 corridor continue over the next 2 hours. We expect ponding on roadways to occur quickly, especially in poor drainage areas before this moves on out. So they're talking about this really heavy pocket of rainfall right here, that there's rainfall rates of 1 inch per hour. So that's going to lead to street flooding. So we can probably expect to see at least a flood advisory issued soon in that part of the area. And if that sets up an area that's been hit hard over the last 10 days, we know the Cicero area, central and south central areas of Cook County hit really hard over the last 10 days, going 2 weekends ago from that flood event that we had on that Sunday. That could get upgraded to a flash flood warning. The good news, though, and we'll put this into motion, this stuff's not sticking around. You see it's moving from west to east around 40 miles per hour, and there's that clearing line from rainfall moving into western sections of LaSalle and DeKalb County, and then that scoots on out of here. Let's give it another hour and a half to clear out of Chicago, right? So between now and 2:30, got that chance of some street flooding. Atmosphere recharges, and then more thunderstorms in the forecast mid to late afternoon into the early evening. But it's that area that we've highlighted there. Rainfall rates of 1 inch per hour. The Weather Service saying that ponding on roadway is going to occur quickly, and again, some minor street flooding, something we'll keep an eye on as well here in the metro. Back at the bottom of the hour, another live radar update. We'll see you then.
On CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather.
In California, a former Charles Manson follower who served 53 years in prison is now free. 73-year-old Leslie Van Houten was released on parole supervision. This comes days after California Governor Gavin Newsom announced that he would not fight a state appeals court ruling. So Van Houten received a life sentence for her role in a double murder. Supporters of her release say that she rehabilitated herself in prison and earned both a bachelor's and master's degree. In Washington, a bipartisan group of senators teed off on PGA Tour
CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago.
News, the capital.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon here in the CBS 2 Weather Center with a radar update for you. We're just getting some new information on a new warning that has been issued. This is going to include portions of Cook County and DuPage County, a flash flood warning in effect, and an area that's been hit so hard over the last 2 weeks, and the rain is coming down in buckets right now, about 1 inch every 30 minutes, where some of the most intense rainfall is located. So I want to list a few of the communities that are included in this flash flood warning: Bolingbrook, Romeoville, Lockport, Plainfield, Orland Park, Lamont, Burr Ridge, Burbank, Oak Lawn, Blue Island, Oak Forest, Hyde Park, Inglewood, Beverly, Midway, Woodlawn, Pullman, and even portions of the Loop. So especially the South Loop to Chinatown to even back of the yards included in this flash flood warning in effect until 4:30. This is an area where we're looking at intense downpours leading to street flooding. As we've been talking about, that would be a possibility today. That's happening now, and we're not getting any word just yet on any of the major roads being impacted. Keeping an eye on the Weather Service weather wire, if you will, just here off camera. Nothing when it comes to that, but that could change within the next 30 minutes. So let's take radar full and we'll track all this for you. Here's the good news. This heavy rainfall is on the move. It is moving off towards the east, and we will see some clearing happening pretty soon. You can see that clearing line already in Kane County and Grundy, and also areas of Kendall County, and that's going to be moving into Chicago within the next hour. So this is the heavy rainfall that's happening now. And like yesterday, in parts of the city, especially the south side, we're seeing some area streets being impacted by this heavy rainfall. We'll zoom in and we'll show you where the heaviest rain is right now. Moving into Inglewood right now, crossing the Dan Ryan right now, Bronzeville, areas like Hyde Park seeing some downpours, Midway and Cicero right in the middle of it all. There could be some very tiny hail embedded in this activity, well below severe weather limits. And we'll flip on our velocity scan. There's nothing when it comes to strong winds. There's some gusty winds around Burbank right now, maybe up to around 40 miles per hour. We'll put this into live mode again and put this into velocity just to kind of take a look. And we're going to switch on Something's caught my eye. I just want to kind of confirm with the Midway Airport. No, we're good. So embedded in all that activity is just some wind gusts, 35, 40 miles per hour, kind of moving along the South Shore right now. But the main concern is going to be flash flooding, and that's why that flood warning does remain in effect until 4:30. Now, the rain's going to end well before 4:30 with this particular thunderstorm. It's going to be moving out within the next 45 minutes to an hour. But the Weather Service is talking about that this part of Cook County to DuPage County has already seen a ½ inch to an inch and a half of rainfall, and rainfall rates of about an inch every 30 minutes. So we're talking 2 inches per hour. That's an incredible amount of rainfall, and the best drainage systems in the world can't take something like that, and that's why some street flooding is going to be a real possibility in parts of the south side, happening now and continuing for the next hour or so. So, well, why not the view? We have no active severe weather warnings, though, in terms of view of hail or tornadoes. That can certainly change, and let me show you why. So we're going to switch first to the threats that we're talking about. The first of that flood threat happening now. Could be possible within the city, all of Cook County, DuPage, Will, and Lake County until 7 o'clock this evening, and then a chance of severe weather mid to late afternoon into the early evening. So here's a look at one of the high-res forecast models showing the next hour. A lot of this rainfall is going to be out over the lake by the time we head towards 2:30 in the next hour. But we'll have some lingering downpours right along the North Shore and extending into northwest Indiana. Here's what models have been very consistent on, even since yesterday, trying to bring in a secondary lobe of energy coming in out of Wisconsin, out of the northwest. So at 4 o'clock, we could have some active severe weather warnings up around DeKalb and McHenry and Lake County. The difference between the thunderstorms we have now and the thunderstorms that we can have later this afternoon is the thunderstorms this afternoon could be rotating, so they're going to be overall a lot stronger. The chance of severe weather a lot higher as we head towards the 4 o'clock hour, first in the northwest suburbs, and then 5 and 6 o'clock in the city of Chicago. So we're talking about damaging winds, we're talking about flooding rain, areas of hail, and rotating thunderstorms that could even produce tornadoes. This is a look at the future radar at 6 p.m. showing that potential for rotating thunderstorms in portions of northwest Indiana, also the city of Chicago, out towards the western suburbs. And then as we head beyond 7 o'clock, we start to see this activity begin to slide more off to the east. And by 8 p.m., there could be some lingering areas of strong thunderstorms in parts of northwest Indiana. But by 8 p.m., looks like we're going to be in good shape over northeastern areas of Illinois. So the big window for you, for our entire area, is going to be 3 p.m. to about 7 p.m. for additional severe weather. We've got the rain moving in now. It's heavy for sure. It's prompted that flash flood warning. Could have some wind gusts 40, 45 miles per hour. But then that severe weather threat will go even higher as we head towards later this afternoon into the evening, that 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. With this rain moving out in the far western suburbs right now, it's going to give us a couple of hours to recharge our atmosphere. Let's take a look. It's about 1:38, so gives us an hour and a half to 2 hours to recharge our atmosphere. So it looks like the models are locked onto that. And wind damage and flooding, the two main concerns remainder of the afternoon and early evening. It's an elevated threat. It's not small, it's elevated, but overall it's a secondary threat from damaging winds and flooding is tornadoes and also thunderstorms producing large hail. So here's a check of the forecast. Thunderstorms likely now through the top of the hour, and then slow clearing during the next hour. 6 o'clock, those rain chances at 20%, but that could go up. 6:15, 6:30 with some intense thunderstorms coming in out of the northwest suburbs. And here's a check of the extended forecast with a chance for at least an isolated to scattered thunderstorm every day through Monday. We're going to keep an eye on Friday and Saturday. Anytime you have temperatures like that, mid to upper 80s, some of those could be even on the heavy side. So we're just locked into this storming weather pattern, and there is some relief inside if you're ready for some drier weather. Models starting to dry out as we head into about Tuesday of next week. So recapping here at 1:39 here on CBS News Chicago, one active warning right now. That's a flash flood warning for portions of DuPage County and southern sections of Cook County, including the south side of Chicago, really areas Ike 88 southward into southern areas of Cook County. That's where we have some flash flooding occurring now. That flash flood warning in effect until 4:30. You can see the clearing, though. It's just out towards the west. So I'm thinking next 45 minutes we're going to start to see some drier weather in Chicago. That's actually unfortunate news, because then we have some areas where we'll have some breaks in the clouds. The temperatures warm up a bit. The atmosphere becomes a little bit more charged up with energy and instability, and that allows for some showers and thunderstorms coming in out of Wisconsin to turn severe. So we'll see that. You can see a little spin in the atmosphere in the southwest corner of Wisconsin. That little lobe of energy looks to kind of scoop in from the north and spawn some some intense thunderstorms. There's at least the potential there. Mary Kay and I were just looking at some new data showing that the atmosphere is a little bit more conducive for rotating thunderstorms after 3 p.m. So that's why we are on alert here, and that's why we'll be here with you throughout the afternoon here on CBS News Chicago. Our updates continue every half hour. While we step away, we are streaming one of our other weather computers with different radar views and different forecast outputs on our YouTube stream. We're streaming live right now on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, you search CBS News Chicago or CBS Chicago, you'll see that live bug, and you can have that in your pocket and take a look at the radar whenever you would like. But we'll be back here at the top of the hour at 2 p.m., get you updated with the radar. And by 2 o'clock, also we'll have some new data coming in, some new future radars to share with you. Until then, I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon. We'll see you here at the top of the hour.
Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer, sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago.
Hi there, it is 2 o'clock. I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon here in the CBS 2 Weather Center. We have some of that heavy rainfall that's focused right over Cook County in the city of Chicago, but it's headed out over the lake, and notice it's starting to dry out towards the west. It's only going to dry out, though, for a couple of hours because we have a severe weather threat that moves on in as we head towards a little later this afternoon and into the early part of the evening. I'll show you a brand new model that just came out in the last couple of minutes in just a second. But let me get you updated on this. We do have a flash flood warning in effect for central and southern areas of Cook County, extending into areas in northern Will County, extreme southern areas of DuPage County. So those are the counties, but let me show you the communities that are involved in this flash flood warning. And even though the rain is letting up in a big way right now, it's actually coming to an end out here towards the west. This is where we have some issues when it comes to street flooding, ponding on the roadway, and this will linger for the next couple of hours, some residual issues even when the rain stops. So this flash flood warning in effect until 4:30. The loop included, South Loop included, Hyde Park, Inglewood, Midway, Cicero, Beverly, Burbank, Oaklawn, Pullman, Woodlawn, Blue Island, Oak Forest, Palos, Orland Park, Lamont, Burr Ridge, Bolingbrook, Romeoville, Lockport, and Plainfield, all included in that flash flood warning in effect until 4:30. And that's where we're having, just like what we saw yesterday, some areas dealing with not just ponding on the roadway, but some minor flooding on streets as well. But now the heaviest activity has focused out of Chicago, now out over Lake Michigan. There's still some downpours in parts of northwest Indiana near Valparaiso and moving into Michigan City right now down towards Rensselaer. We've got some areas of rain, but no lightning. None of this is severe. And notice the drying out that's occurring right now. It's drying out as we speak at O'Hare. It's drying out right now in Bolingbrook, in Joliet, and the rain is let up in a big way here in Chicago. So let me show you the live camera. That is our live camera from the Hancock looking down towards the south. Finally, some visibility. We weren't able to use this camera a couple of minutes ago, but it's just some light rain now in River North and Streeterville. And we'll take a look at the live camera from outside of CBS 2. And we're looking at the umbrellas out at Daly Plaza, but things have improved in a big way there as well. So we got a couple of hours of break, and then we're going to look for additional storm chances to ramp up as we head towards a little later this afternoon. I'll show you that new model in a moment. Other than that flash flood warning, the only watch that we have posted right now is a flood watch in effect until 7 p.m. for the potential for additional flash flooding issues later this afternoon into the first part of the evening. This includes all of Cook County, including the city of Chicago, DuPage County, Will County, and Lake County, Indiana. So here's that brand new model I wanted to show you. This is showing as we head towards the next hour, most of the rain out over Lake Michigan, into portions of northwest Indiana, maybe some lingering showers right along the lakeshore in Cook and Lake County, Illinois. But again, we're going to get a break from the rain for at least a couple hours. The new guidance is showing by 5 o'clock, though, we start to watch some developing thunderstorms that could be subsevere or severe coming in out of the northwest, Rockford to Boone County and across the state line in Wisconsin. And then 5:30, 6 o'clock, notice we have some severe weather potential in places like McHenry County, Lake County, maybe even the extreme northwestern sections of Cook County around Schaumburg, also Kane County. So that's an area that we're going to be watching closely at 6 o'clock, areas just to the northwest of downtown for the potential of all modes of severe weather, damaging winds, large hail, and even rotating thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes. And on top of all of that, some flash flood concerns as well. So here's the model guidance at 7 o'clock. And, you know, this could be a little bit more to the south. This could be a little bit more to the north. This is just giving us a rough estimate of where there's the potential for thunderstorms. I will tell you, when this model starts to show areas that have this black color, like you see there, when that model does that, it's locked onto the potential for severe weather. So these could be supercell thunderstorms that are riding right on top of Chicago, some around 7, give or take 30 minutes, all right? Large hail damaging winds, and some of these will be rotating, so it's possible in this time frame that we have some tornado warnings that include the city of Chicago as we head towards the early part of the evening. By 8 o'clock, that severe weather threat will shift back off towards the east, but we still could have some active warnings in Lake County, in Porter County, in LaPorte County, in northwest Indiana, and moving into southwestern areas of Michigan. But it looks like as we head beyond 8 o'clock, we really start to dry out across the metro counties, and we'll be quiet as we head towards the late evening as well. So here's what we're concerned about for the remainder of the day. The rain's moving out now. We'll get a couple hours of break. we could have 2.5 hours where we're rain-free, and maybe there's a little break in the cloud cover. We won't go completely clear, but it's going to help recharge our atmosphere of energy, instability, and moisture. So the two main concerns with the thunderstorms coming in later this afternoon to this evening, damaging winds, 60, 70-mile-per-hour straight-line winds, that's possible, and also flash flooding, especially here in Chicago. If we get another round of really intense rainfall, especially in areas that were hit hard just an hour ago, hit hard yesterday, hit hard over the last 10 days, that is going to prompt flash flooding concerns. It's a secondary threat, but it's a threat nonetheless, and that's tornadoes and large hail. So all modes of severe weather possible as we roll through late this afternoon into the first part of the evening. Beyond 8 o'clock, though, things are going to really quiet down. So we're looking at those scattered shower and thunderstorm chances later this afternoon. And then ending after 8 p.m. And then overnight, I mean, there could be a passing shower, but we're not too excited about anything significant on the radar here while we sleep overnight. We're kind of stuck in this stormy weather pattern. The rain chances tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, not nearly as widespread, not as heavy as what we're expecting today, but still some isolated storms tomorrow and 80 for the high. We've got to keep an eye on Friday and Saturday. Anything that does develop Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon could be on the heavy side just because we'll have highs mid to upper 80s. 85 an isolated storm on Sunday, isolated storms at 82 on Monday, and then building heat as we head towards the middle part of the week. Some of the models, by the way, just to give you a heads up, we're 85 a week from today. Some of the models want to get us in the 90s next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. We could have some really, really hot air around here as the high pressure that's been creating a lot of national news stories in Texas and in the coming days around Las Vegas and Phoenix kind of builds a little bit more in the Midwest. So that means some hotter, drier weather, and it may kick off about a week from today. But between now and then, we've got storm chances nearly every single day into early next week. So here's the bottom line. Rain's moving out now, couple hours break, and then let's say after 4 p.m., we really got to start watching the radar for the northwest suburbs. 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, a window for intense thunderstorms coming in out of Wisconsin, coming in out of the northwest that could be producing large hail, damaging winds, could rotate, could prompt some tornado warnings. And then 8 o'clock and beyond, we're going to be in good shape in most spots. 8 o'clock, there could be some lingering storms in northwest Indiana, but that's the window. Let's say a 4-hour window, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We got to be weather aware with these thunderstorms moving on through. So again, flash flood warning continues now. Parts of the south side of Chicago and the southern sections of Cook County extending out towards the west, but the rain is letting up in a big way. But keep an eye on some ponding on roadway and even some minor flooding on streets in that part of the city. We're here all afternoon long, our live coverage with Mary Kay and the rest of the team coming up at 4 o'clock, and we'll take you through this severe weather that we're expecting through the late afternoon and evening here on CBS News Chicago. We'll see you then.
Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago. Stream us when you need us. CBS 2 News is always streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2.
The latest breaking news, first alert weather, and more streaming on CBS News Chicago.
Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
Cutting the cord on cable? Stream CBS 2 News live every day on CBS News Chicago.